Hi, Zizaran here with another video, and this is going to be a quick video for the Blast from the Past event. If you aren't familiar with this event that starts later today, it is Sentinel and Lake Kalandra, and the event is not voided. That means the recombinators are making it into the game and staying for a bit. So if you are a person that cares about your standard stuff, then well, they are generally quite valuable. So don't miss out on this event if you want that. And Sentinel and Kalandra were two. I'm just kidding. Sentinel was one of the best leagues ever. Kalandra was one of the worst leagues ever. However, after all the fixes and patches, it was actually quite playable at the end. But you know, it had a very rough start. But that being said, there are a lot of cool things like insane XP. I believe Havoc's team got something like level 100 in 1 hour or something crazy. Yeah, 1 hour and 1 minute to level 100 from a fresh character. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about what builds are going to be good if you are trying to push level 90 or if you're racing in general. And I will give you a quick sum up of how Sentinel League worked and how Kalandra worked. So that is what this video is going to be about. So if you just want to get to like level 95 to hit the highest threshold for the rewards, these are going to be good builds for that. We're going to start with a Bone Zone Slayer, a guide we have made several times, and my good friend Karn loves playing this build. So anytime you need more Bone Zone Slayer advice, Karn is generally the person to ask. It's very, very fast, very strong. A lot of people don't like it for bosses, but this is an XP event. So you don't really need to worry about killing Ubers and things like that. You just need to get your Void Stones and blast the Atlas and get XP. Now, a downside to this build is that it does require actual gear. Like, you will actually need to understand how physical damage scales. So if you don't, then maybe this is not the build for you, and I might recommend a spell build instead, because that'll just scale just based on your level, and you don't need to focus so much on gear. That being said, very, very easy build to play. Would recommend, and it'll very easily get you to level 95, and it just absolutely demolishes maps very quickly. Righteous Fire, a true and tested thing, and you can play this on both Inquisitor and Juggernaut. We worked with Pox and done a lot of collabs for RF guides with him. And yeah, it's going to be really, really nice. There's like nothing like the Krangle event where the builds are different or anything is different here, and the patch is the same as you're used to. Like, we aren't going back to either Kalandra League or Sentinel League. We are on the same base patch that we are currently. So anything that works now will work in the event as well, and there's nothing that's been moved around on the skill tree. You have access to everything that you are expecting to have access to, and in addition to that, you do have the Kalandra and the Sentinel mechanics. So RF Jug, very, very good. You can actually start this super early now. It used to be a build that required a lot of uniques, but it is no longer so. So a very good choice for this event. And especially once you're able to get to Maven and get the boots, it gets those nice Maven explosions. So very, very good for blasting XP. Explosive Arrow, not necessarily the fastest, but it's so smooth, and there is a very heavy XP penalty. It is 50% XP on death. So having a really, really solid quick build, like, it does like mop up the maps very quickly, and it doesn't necessarily feel that fast, but I would say it is faster than it feels. And it clears so nicely. There's something about Ignite Prolift that's just really, really nice, because the monsters keep running into it and dying. It's also like nothing crazy you need for the build, and you get a 6 so easy from the Porcupine cards. So very easy build to get going in just a day, and then you're blasting and you get level 95 in a few days. We don't have a guide for this myself, but I figured I'd mention it anyway, and that is a Guardian Summoner. Like, the Guardian just comes online so fast, and a lot of people say it just feels like a walking simulator, where every time you press Convocate with the Guardian Summon stuff, it just obliterates the screen. So really, really good. Definitely look into that if you do like summoners. And finally, Cold.Hierophant, another thing we made as a League Starter Guide. Absolutely blast. And with Vortex on mouse button 1 for auto casting, you're just literally running through maps. Everything is chilled, and it's very tanky, so it'll hopefully avoid you a lot of deaths and that 50% XP penalty. So these are some of the builds I wanted to mention, and generally most of the League starters we posted should be really good for the event, so feel free to look through those. They were posted like 2 months ago. And yeah, just I hope you have a blast in the event, but before then, let's walk you quickly through the Sentinel and Kalandra mechanic as a quick TLDR. So for Sentinel, you get to choose what kind of Sentinel you want to activate. There's a red one, a blue one, and a yellow one. So the red one generally like keeps activating until it's activated and like buffed everything that it's supposed to, whether that be white, blue, or yellow or unique monsters. The blue one blasts the entire screen and you generally have multiple uses. And the yellow one is focused on unique monsters and making those super boosted. Now, personally, I like the red one, and this was the skill tree that I was using when playing Sentinel League, and I really like that. I did try blue as well. I can't remember my skill tree for that, but you know, it's something you can play around with, but I'll leave you with my red skill tree that I used. And I would generally press it when I saw a bunch of blue monsters and stuff like that, and then try to focus on things like that. It'll probably stack really nicely with ghost busting, like the tormented spirits. Um, Now, that being said, it is also very dangerous. Like, they do have an insane amount of damage increase. So you do want to be really careful, like what empowerment value it is. It basically felt like 40% empowerment was 40% more damage, or maybe even 80%. So you really, really want to be careful here. Now, you do have to level up this system as well, but that comes very quickly. So don't be too worried about it. And it's pretty straightforward what it does, even though it does look like, wow, another skill tree. This is complicated. Very straightforward. Hovering over them very quickly, you will get a good idea of what you want and what you don't want. But really like the red ones, and they will not lead you astray. Next up, for Kalandra League, which is sadly my least favorite league of all time. But Kalandra League has really, really powerful stuff in it nonetheless. And now after the reward boosts that happen late in the league, it should be a lot better. So the way it works is that you encounter like the pedestal and you get to choose between 3 tiles, and you can move around the starting tile and stuff like that. And you want to try to make that the last tiles are as far away from the entrance as possible. So if you put it in the bottom right and you kind of like zig and zag so that it's going far away, then the last tiles will be super high level, which will also make them super rippy. But yeah, they'll be really rewarding XP wise, especially if you can find the Untainted Paradise tile. This is the one that you're basically hunting. It's probably, while I'm playing, it's the only thing I'm going to search for. I don't really care that much for the other stuff in Kalandra. I'm just looking for the Untainted Paradise tile, as it is insane amount of XP, where even if you get it at like 95, it might give you a full level. So very, very strong, especially if your goal is only getting level 95. I think the highest I saw was somebody getting like 5 or 6 levels from one tile. So it can be pretty crazy, definitely worth looking out for. And it does have the rewards as well for rings. It'll be pretty random. I can't remember if they changed it, but I remember at the start it would sometimes see the bird and she would fly away and not give me anything. I do believe that was fixed. So if you see Kalandra, she will always give you a reward tile, and she can give you either the choice of a ring, and sometimes she can like let you actually mirror a ring. Now it'll generally have a positive outcome on some things and a negative on others. So it's a bit RNG, and it can like not always go in your favor. But yeah, very, very strong for rings and amulets, and you can make some crazy skill amulets. Anyway, I hope that helps as a quick catch-up mechanic and a quick TLDR. I didn't actually play Kalandra that much, sadly, so it's going to be a interesting revisit for me. But yeah, I hope you guys are excited for the event. Thanks for watching. Sub if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.